Super Mayhem.
Hello friends, it's Tim here again from Super Mayhem. Oh! And today we are diving back into the 80s, some older videos and game hacking action, as we take a look at some of the best ever Game Genie cheats for the Super Mario Bros. Series on the NES. That's right, these are some of the best Game Genie hacks for Super Mario Bros. 1, Super Mario Bros. 2, and of course the majestic creature that is Super Mario Bros. 3. Are you a fan of these games and or Game Genie hacking in general? If so, it is mandatory that you smash a like on this video. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe something will happen to your Fortnite account or something. I don't know. I wouldn't test it and I'd just smash like if I were you. Okay, now that that's sorted, let's head onwards with the hacks from previous videos, in no particular order of game or hacking ranking.
This one is good fun. The code AoE AGI changes the trajectory of thrown enemies and items. It's a little hard to describe, but essentially in whatever direction you throw something, it stays thrown. Gravity is no more. Even the coins fly off in the subspace. This makes hitting enemies a little tougher, but it also has some other hilarious side effects. When you throw a POW, it sends Shy Guys heading for the heavens, and in particular this cheat seems to impact enemies when they jump. Baddies like tweeters, for example, will take off before you can even get close to them.
Oh, Toad's coming. I'm out of here.
Birdo didn't really know how to react either and just decided to leave the party early and jet off too. I missed the crystal ball the first time this happened, as it doesn't just sit there waiting for you. Ugh, no. This thing is on a NASA mission too, so you had better be aligned just in the right spot or else you are going back down the beanstalk again for round 2. This lack of gravity becomes a real nightmare in World 1-2, which is where I got stuck, as you need to bomb your way through the path which, without gravity for items, becomes a real pain. Just stay there, damn it! No, too fast! Gah! Relax, mate, you just need to relax. Oh, I'm dead. The code VGEIE does exactly what we set out to do and totally breaks the first level. And gives me a headache. This code replaces all enemies with decapitated Bowsers, throws out the graphics and makes the screen jump around like crazy. It becomes almost unplayable unless you really know the level layout, and even then, when you are stuck between two headless Bowsers, there isn't much you can really do. I thought we'd start off with one of the better known of the underground Game Genie codes. If you enter KKKZSPIU as your cheat, you will have access to the debug menu of the game. This is pretty awesome, as in the intro screen you can select which world you would like to start on by going up and down on the directional pad, and you can give yourself 5 lives each time you hit the A button. You can see the lives taking effect by the graphical change in the logo here. The hack gets even better though, as when you're on the map screen you'll have a copy of each item in your inventory, as well as 2 rows of P-Wings. When you are in a level you can even cycle through different power-ups by hitting the select button. You can even use a slightly glitched Goomba's shoe at any time by holding B and then hitting select. If there is a God mode for Super Mario Bros. 3, this is it. What was that? Who's there? Oh, I better get out of here. Shy Guys rule! If you enter this 2-line Game Genie code, you can make the enemies in the game start following you around. This provides some pretty great results, as enemies will sometimes collide with each other and actually kill each other. If you throw a turnip or something, enemies will die normally, but if they kill each other then they will take a leaf out of the No Gravity Codes book and buy the first ticket they can get to off the Screensville. The whole thing is too much for Birdo again too, who decides to do the heavy lifting for you. At least this time the crystal ball hangs around though. I couldn't get past level 1-2 because Pidgeot decides to sacrifice himself to save Wart the moment you come on screen, but I could see if you paired this with one of our next codes you could probably continue on with the game. This cheat does actually make for a good increase to the difficulty, as you have to constantly avoid these intense homing enemies. It is pretty fun piling them up and letting them all take each other out too. The code EPOISS makes for a very entertaining first level. Whenever you hit the top left of any block or sprite, it then disappears. This is actually quite addictive, as it's fun to try and wipe out blocks, but it does make certain jumps a little troubling to work out. It also makes it impossible to complete the first level, as when you jump into the flagpole, well, you know. Another well-known code is AoSUZI. This awesome little hack allows you to pull ice blocks out of thin air and fire them in a frenzy. It's ridiculously fun somehow, and if you try out any of these codes yourself, I highly recommend this be the one. Much like the hack in Super Mario Bros. 1 that removes blocks when you jump in the right spot, this hack also removes background scenery and even lets you dismantle the level. It can get a bit glitchy and is known to crash the game, but it's certainly fun. Or going to town. If you have ever wanted to destroy a level in Super Mario Bros. 2 by digging holes and throwing bombs, then this monstrosity of a code is perfect for you. Not only will you pull up bombs from the grass, but you can also pull up bombs from, well, just about anything. With this code you can dig your own pits for enemies to fall in, and even blow away scenery with the magical Game Genie added bombs. There is also a 2-line code that has similar effects, except that instead of bombs you dig up mushroom blocks. This gets pretty glitchy though, as once you throw a block it can get stuck in weird locations. It seems like once the mushroom block is dropped it reverts back to whatever you actually picked up, whether that be a piece of dirt, a platform, or a random piece of the background. Oh, and in case you were wondering, if you dig too far down with either of these codes, you end up biting the dust. I wouldn't recommend it. You know a code is going to be trouble when Mario is already attacked in the start screen. If you enter Pigpog as your Game Genie code, you get some pretty intense results. Goombas seem to be replaced with Koopa Troopers, there are random lifts and also the occasional fire stick. This code seems to work a little bit different each time and only affects some levels, but it does make for an interesting change to level 1-1. The code YEUXKGAA is truly bizarre. For a start, it transforms the Mario sprite on the map screen into a cloud, but the weirdness only begins here. Once in a level, Mario's sprite is replaced with what appears to be some kind of broken black and white piranha plant or something. You can also swim through the levels, but unlike the code at number 6, this level itself isn't underwater. This code actually seems to grant Mario some kind of strange power-up, as once you are hit or get a super leaf with this code, you revert back to Mario's regular form, and the game seems to go on as usual. Tired of the lack of climbable vines in Super Mario Bros. 2? Maybe you're sick of being able to go through doors. Collecting cherries got you down? The Game Genie code known as Sky Climbers is probably going to be a winner for you then. With this code in place you can climb up and down invisible vines anywhere in the game. This can be extremely helpful for cruising through a level, but it is also super easy to slip off the invisible vines if you get too confident. Because you can't press up to enter doors, you have to line yourself up with the door and then climb your invisible vine out of the screen. Hopefully you will end up in the right area because this works anywhere and you can find yourself appearing in random places throughout the game. This code was pretty fun until I got greedy and ended up stuck in World 1-2 after trying to escape the first Birdo. Ever been attacked by a Goomba throwing hammers? Welcome to the crazy code XYAGEO. One of the better known of the underground Game Genie hacks, this code gives the enemies Bowser's hammer throwing abilities. It gets a bit glitchy with Goombas going through pipes and enemies generally kind of homing in on you. As if things weren't hectic enough, then they go and do this to me too. How the hell are you supposed to destroy an upside down hovering hammer throwing Goomba? It seemed fitting to leave you with the most brutal of the Super Mario Bros. 3 hacks I tested out. Entering GOYUTV will be enough to have you throwing your NES out the window. This code spawns munches all around Mario as you are playing the level. Standalone, this code makes the game impossible, but if you add in the debug code as well and give yourself a star, well, it's still impossible, but it's pretty fun. Taking a closer look at where these munches are spawning, it looks as if the Koopaling's wand sprites are somehow garbled in here too. This last code, AoE, was probably my favourite of the bunch I tried out. So much so in fact that before I knew it I had passed the entire game. With this cheat in play, any character you like can float for as long as you like by holding down A. This is pretty amusing as you get to watch Toad fly around and get stuck in the throwing animation if you turf something whilst you're flying. It also makes the game so much easier. Hovering over birdos, flying over big chunks of the game, enjoying the obscure scenery. What is usually quite a hectic adventure becomes almost relaxing and certainly more comical.
Anyway, that's it for today, friends. I really hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane as we looked at some of the best and wackiest Game Genie hacks for the Super Mario Bros. Games on the NES. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to smash a big fat like on this bad boy, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe if you are new too. Also, please be sure to leave a comment if there was a Game Genie cheat that you know of that wasn't shown here. I'd love to rehash some of these older games individually, so any cheats you know would be greatly appreciated. Many thanks, and I'll catch you soon.